What does it mean if you dream about jumping into water? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about 3 different types of dream scenarios in which you're jumping into water, shallow, deep, and a high height. It's Carol Ann Chapman, and I believe that you receive messages from your powerful, eternal, subconscious mind in your dreams that you can use to help you in your waking life, and that you can also connect with past life memories and your experiences as an Atlantean. In the first scenario of dreaming about jumping into water, we're going to deal with jumping into shallow water. Now, whenever we deal with water in a dream, we are dealing with emotion. So, jumping into something has this sense of going ahead and taking a risk. But this is a risk that you know going into it is going to have an emotional impact. But in this case, because the water is shallow, it's not going to be life-changing or far-reaching.
Kind of cold.
And face it, just about any risk you take, anything you undertake is going to involve your emotions, because you're a human being and human beings are emotional beings. Now, in the second scenario, you are leaping or jumping into deep water, such as from this pier where this ferry is docked. And when we are dealing with deep water, we are not only dealing now with deep emotions, but also psychological depth. So whatever it is that you're leaping into right now, if you have this dream, you know likely going into it, or the dream is reminding you that there will be psychological depths that will be plunged into when you undertake this new thing. Now, in your dream, you may be afraid to jump, but you jump anyway. And in spite of being afraid, you find you're able to do it. You may not actually end in the water, but once you leap, you are not as afraid. And this is an indication that you have the inner resources, you're ready, and you know psychological growth is to be hoped for in a lifetime. You don't want to stay just the person that you always were. You want to improve and grow. Now, I haven't forgotten the third case scenario, and that is when you are jumping off a high height, possibly and likely from a cliff. Whenever you're dealing with rocks and stones, as you are with a cliff, you are dealing with difficulties. So this is a dream dealing with difficulties you are either in or approaching. And because you are high up, this usually means that you are dealing with something of a high nature. If you're spiritually oriented, it would be of a spiritual nature. Otherwise, it might be high moral nature or high ethical nature. And therefore, that may be where the difficulties come, these sort of how do I coordinate this with the materialistic part of life. And so the rocks also represent the materialistic part of life. So you are taking this leap of faith down into the water, knowing that your emotions will be engaged. And again, likely, because you've made the leap, you are no longer afraid. You find out in the dream, and you are assured in the dream, you have the resources to go ahead with this. And if you're wondering how these symbols I've talked about apply to your specific life, well, I've provided a 3-step creative dream interpretation checklist. The link is down below in the description. And if you're interested in other water dreams or love dreams, or if you're curious about being reincarnated from Atlantis, here are some links here. Toodaloo. See you in the next video.